We are tired of being beaten by policemen. We are tired of seeing our people locked up in jail over and over again. And then you holler, be nonviolent. These words from Martin Luther King Jr. captured the urgency of a movement poised for transformation. The Selma to Montgomery March was not just a physical journey, it was a manifestation of hope and resilience against injustice. In the early 1960s, the American South was marred by systemic racism. African Americans battled daily for their rights, with dignity crushed beneath oppressive laws. In Alabama, despair mixed with flickers of hope as resistance brewed in many hearts, and the cry for justice grew louder. Selma, steeped in segregation, became the epicenter of the civil rights movement. Here, local activists, inspired by King and the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, organized a march to Montgomery. This quest for voting rights resonated deeply among those who had been silenced for too long. The courage required was monumental, yet urgency propelled ordinary people to join a cause greater than themselves. The planning was fraught with tension. Activists faced death threats and violence, yet they understood their responsibility to confront oppression. As the march approached, diverse voices united. Young and old, black and white, they gathered in Selma, ready to take that first step toward Montgomery, with palpable courage forged in the fires of struggle. On March 7, 1965, participants began their walk across the Edmund Pettus Bridge, a symbol of oppression. They encountered law enforcement, and brutality erupted: tear gas, clubs, violence against those daring to claim their rights. It was a harrowing scene that ignited a nationwide outcry. They marched not just for themselves but for future generations, carrying the hope of a future free from hatred. The media captured the horror, broadcasting images that awakened America's conscience. In this moment, MLK's leadership shone. He advocated nonviolence, urging followers to respond to hate with love, asserting that true strength lies in maintaining dignity amidst adversity. Would this march lead to tangible change? This pivotal moment served as a beacon of hope for the powerless, reminding all that collective courage could dismantle injustice. The Selma to Montgomery March became a profound statement. Yet, what legacy would their bravery leave behind? On March 7, thousands gathered in Selma, ready to march for justice. They donned determination like armor, stepping toward a better future. As they reached the Edmund Pettus Bridge, the air thickened with tension. Law enforcement awaited them, and as violence erupted, the day became known as Bloody Sunday. The clash was broadcast across the nation, igniting outrage and compelling America to confront its conscience. Each violent act became a clarion call for change. Unyielding after Bloody Sunday, Martin Luther King Jr. recognized this moment as a crossroads for civil rights. With unwavering resolve, he called for a second march, honoring the fallen and bringing the nation's attention to their cause. He emphasized meeting hate with love, affirming that the struggle for justice required courage coupled with compassion. On March 9, King led a symbolic march to the bridge, stopping to face the crowd. "We are not here to engage in violence. We are here to demand justice." His words resonated with the thousands assembled: mothers, fathers, students, and elders, unified in purpose. Each step they took was toward a more just world. As days passed, the movement gained momentum. Activists and allies flooded into Selma, singing freedom songs that infused the air with hope. They were not just marchers, they were architects of change, building a future where equality reigned. They faced trials, but their resolve strengthened. Finally, on March 21, the marchers reached Montgomery, greeted by thousands. The culmination of their journey was a commitment, a force of nature transforming the landscape of America. As they approached the steps of the Alabama State Capitol, Dr. King stood before them, articulating their struggle: "We are here because we refuse to be treated as less than human." His words swept through the crowd, igniting a fervor that would resonate long after the march. The journey to Montgomery tested their resolve, filled with hostility from those maintaining the status quo. Bloody Sunday revealed the harsh realities of segregationist violence, and images of beaten marchers stirred the hearts of millions. This confrontation sparked a national conversation about civil rights and dignity. In the lead-up to the march, organizers worked tirelessly, and volunteers from across America joined the cause. They understood this fight was larger than one community, it called to the conscience of a nation. Each participant brought personal stories, creating a chorus demanding justice. When they set foot in Montgomery, their unwavering commitment was undeniable. They had walked over 50 miles, each step declaring they would no longer be denied their rights. As they gathered at the Capitol steps, emotions ran high. Their voices were heard, shaking the foundations of oppression. Dr. King articulated the dreams of a nation: we will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. His words encapsulated a desire for a hopeful future where freedom rang true for all. Even amidst celebration, the road ahead remained steep. The Voting Rights Act was not guaranteed. Yet, the Selma to Montgomery march ignited an unstoppable movement, highlighting the courage to confront societal injustices and serving as a rallying cry for the voiceless. As the crowd dispersed, a new chapter began. The spirit of Selma inspired marches across the nation. It reminded us that the path to justice requires collective courage, a force transforming individuals into champions for change, altering American history. Under the Alabama Sunday, March 7, 1965, dawned with resolute energy. Participants, united in purpose, represented all walks of life, demanding justice not just for themselves but for unborn generations. Martin Luther King Jr. stood at the front, embodying leadership as they marched toward freedom. Yet, as they moved, tension thickened. Law enforcement awaited, ready for confrontation. At the Edmund Pettus Bridge, an emblem of oppression, marchers faced brutality. King urged them to remain peaceful, emphasizing the long arc of justice. But confrontation was unavoidable as officers unleashed violence upon the unyielding marchers. As brutality unfolded, images were broadcast, igniting outrage. The clashes reflected deep-seated racism in America, highlighting the urgent need for change. The marchers showcased moral fortitude, marching not just for their rights but for every marginalized voice. The fight for civil rights became a battle for the future. The Selma to Montgomery March crystallized the movement, awakening the human spirit's desire for dignity and equality. They marched for history, for hope, for freedom, all reflecting that collective stand can change the world. In the aftermath, a seismic shift rippled through American society. The bravery displayed became a beacon of hope, leading to the passage of the Voting Rights Act in 1965. This legislation encapsulated their struggle, ensuring every American's right to vote. The act obliterated the obstacles that had been placed in the way of black voters, prohibiting practices such as literacy tests and poll taxes that had historically disenfranchised millions. King understood that the Selma to Montgomery March was not merely an event but a turning point in the nation's moral compass. For many, the moment represented the first time they could imagine the possibility of true equality, as they witnessed the nation rally behind the call for justice. King once expressed, "The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice." This march was a testament to that truth, a realign of the compass pointing toward hope and equality. The legacy of the march extends beyond legislative victories. Today, we stand on the shoulders of those who walked for justice. Their commitment serves as a cornerstone for contemporary movements fighting racial inequality. The echoes of their chants continue to inspire activism, reminding us the struggle for justice is ongoing. Reflecting on their words, we uncover painfully relevant truths. King's assertion that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere transcends time. Our quests for justice and equality are intertwined. The Selma marchers fought for the dignity of humanity itself, showcasing that collective courage can dismantle oppression and hatred. We must introspect on how their courage mirrors our lives. We face challenges requiring us to stand firm against injustice. Whether in workplaces or communities, we encounter moments demanding our voices. The march is a reminder that change begins with individual bravery, each action contributing to the demand for justice. The road to justice is steep, requiring relentless determination. The marchers pressed on, driven by a vision for a better future. Their sacrifices were for generations to come, urging us to honor that legacy by continuing the fight against injustice. As we navigate our society's complexities, let us carry their message forward, true progress requires action. Reflecting on their courage, we must ask ourselves how we can embody the spirit of those who marched for justice. The Selma to Montgomery march was a paradigm shift, calling us to act with conviction. In a world filled with challenges, may we draw strength from those dusty roads. Let us fight for justice, lift silenced voices, and ensure equality remains our focus. Hope requires courage, determination, and resolve. In adversity, let us march on together, for the fight continues. Each step illuminates the path toward equity. The legacy of Selma calls us to action, demanding active participation in the pursuit of freedom and equality for all. As we reflect on their courage, let it inspire us to be changemakers. Every act of bravery, however small, contributes to justice's grand tapestry. The marchers displayed courage for us all. Now it is our turn to honor their legacy, carry justice's torch forward, and ensure their dreams are realized in our actions. Let us move forward and transform reflections of the past into commitments for the future.